Good morning. As you know, I'm Practitioner Robert. Today I'm going to share some thoughts, some of my thoughts and some of the thoughts of people that are much more elevated than I am. But first I'd like to share with you what the famous metaphysician Dr. Seuss had to say. He said, "You ought to be thankful a whole heaping lot for the places and people you're lucky you're not." So that's Dr. Seuss. For me, personally, I hope that when the insects finally take over the world, that they remember that we invited them to every picnic we ever had and give gratitude for that. So what is gratitude? Well, it is saying thank you, obviously. It's showing appreciation for what someone gives you or does for you or says to you. But it's so much more. Gratitude becomes a spiritual practice when we move from simply showing appreciation or returning kindnesses to feeling and expressing gratitude for all the wonderful things, big and small, in our lives. Gratitude is a powerful, positive force in our lives and in the world. It is living your life knowing that you have been blessed and being continually grateful for all of the blessings in your life. Eric Hoffer said, "The hardest arithmetic to master is that which enables us to count our blessings." But that is the arithmetic that we really all need and must manage to handle every single day, because that's how we live a good life. Science of Mind magazine says of gratitude, "There is a foolproof way to get more love, happiness, peace, and joy in your life. And while it's simple, it's not always easy." So when we focus on how grateful we are for the love, the happiness, the peace, and the joy we already experience in our lives, we tell the universe, "More of this, please." So I want everybody to say that with me. More of this, please. Let's get more good in our lives. Did you know that indigenous peoples practice gratitude for the earth and the elements? They consider them sacred gifts that sustain and enrich life. By emulating indigenous peoples, by giving thanks to the water that nourishes us, the fire that warms us, the air that breathes life into us, and the earth that holds us in its arms, we cultivate balance and harmony within ourselves. And as we know, when we cultivate something within ourselves, we spread it out into the world around us. Ralph Waldo Emerson wisely stated, "In everything give thanks. An attitude of gratitude is most salutary and bespeaks the realization that we are now in heaven. Gratitude is one of the chief graces of human existence and is crowned in heaven with the consciousness of unity." Someone I don't particularly usually like to quote, but Esther Hicks has said that the fastest way to bring more wonderful examples of abundance into your personal experience is to take constant notice of the wonderful things that are already there. It's the little things that often matter. So many of you know that I was in the Army a long, long time ago, and I was a paratrooper. And every time I jumped, scared silly by the way, out of a perfectly good airplane, I counted to 4 as we were supposed to. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, and then I looked up and there was this beautiful canopy of silk above me, and I was incredibly grateful. And I then thoroughly enjoyed that quiet, peaceful, beautiful floating down and through the sky and down to the ground. And once I reached the ground safely, I was grateful yet again. And every single jump I did was like that. Every time I jumped out, totally scared, and every time I achieved that peaceful feeling as I floated down through gratitude. Gratitude for everything working properly. So every jump was like that, even the one time that I was injured. But that's a story for another day. Some of you also know that I had a somewhat difficult childhood. My father came back from World War II as a severely damaged mentally. Spent several years in a VA hospital in a psychiatric ward. The diagnosis of schizophrenia, paranoid type. He never had a job. He was 100% disabled, got a pension for the rest of his life. Died very young at age 52. So I'm quite a bit older than my dad now. And I was afraid as a child when we started living with him in New York when I was 8. After he got out of the hospital, and he was very unpredictable. So one minute he might be doing something nice for me, saying something nice to me, the next he might slap me across the room. So I lived in fear. I lived in fear because I never knew what to expect. But I can honestly say, and this is true especially since I came into this teaching of Science of Mind, that I carry love in my heart for him and forgiveness as well. Moreover, I've learned to be grateful for every single person and every single thing in my life, both good and not so good, because all of those things put together have made me the person I am today. And I sort of like this person most of the time. But I am a product of all of those experiences and all of those people. Eckhart Tolle said that acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. And I know that the abundant life I am living now, and abundance, yes, it means financial security, but it also means loving friends, loving relationships, community, spiritual community, particularly a spiritual family, all of those things. That's an abundant life. And that abundant life I'm living now is a direct result of my gratitude for everything that has gone before. Now, do you know that a person can't think negatively and positively at the same time? It's just not possible. So therefore, being in an attitude of gratitude keeps negativity at bay. And we don't want any negativity. We want positivity. We achieve and maintain that positive attitude of gratitude using tools from our spiritual toolbox, such as meditation, prayer, and affirmations. I sometimes meditate all the way, as I told Kate a week or so ago. I don't like someone telling me what to meditate about. I just like to take it on myself. And I also pray on a regular basis, but affirmations are something that I really use the most. Every day, several times a day, and particularly when I go to bed at night, I say, my heart is healthy, my heart is strong, I am radiant, vibrant, and dynamic health. I picked that up from Reverend Harry Morgan Moses, some of you know. Notice that when I say those affirmations, I don't say, I'm going to be healthy, I want to be healthy, I hope I'm healthy. I say, I am. Because there's a saying in Science of Mind, there's no healing to be done, only the truth to be revealed. And that's what affirmations do for you. They recognize that truth, that inner truth about you, about your spirit, about your body. My friend and practitioner emeritus, Jim Massapist, whom you heard earlier, has written a book about his favorite affirmation, which has been proven to work many times for him and others. And that is, thank you, God, that. To which he appends whatever he wishes to see in his life. So it could be, thank you, God, that I am healed, whole, and healthy. Thank you, God, that I am prosperous. Thank you, God, that I have a new life companion. Just know and remember that when you say thank you, God, you're not talking to somebody up in the sky or out there somewhere. Oops. Talking to God right inside yourself. Remember that when you love what you already have, it fills you with enthusiasm and energy. And as a result, you end up creating more abundance with that positive energy. So I invite you this week and for the rest of your lives to use gratitude as a spiritual tool to bring an abundance of everything good into your lives. And then, as Ernest Holmes says, prepare your mind to receive the best that life has to offer. So I'd like to conclude with a lesson from that 13th century mystic Meister Eckhart, who wisely stated, if the only prayer you said in your whole life was thank you, that would suffice. So thank you.
That was wonderful, Robert. Do you have another hand? And now, let's welcome Bené.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So, when Reverend Kate said that I flew the coop.
What was yours?
It is, isn't it? Thank you. It's been an amazing journey. I would like to start by giving great thanks to Reverend Kate and Reverend Maddie. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I really would like to recognize Reverend Kate and Reverend Maddie for laying the foundation and guiding me through the practitioners program. And as I flew the coop, after I received my wings and received my practitioner's license, I was immediately taken on a journey that took me south of the border. My last attendance here, I think I left like a week after, that same week. And it has just continued. That was 5.5, almost 6 years ago. And it has continued to bring amazing, beautiful people, like-minded people into my life. It's taken me to wonderful opportunities to give back and keep or stay in service with Source, and to continue to teach me the gift and the joys of this life and what it means to live a spiritual life and to give thanks for everything in this life and for all the people that come into our lives. All the people that come in may not always stay with us. They come in as teachers. They come in as healers. They come in as students. Everyone in our lives come in with meaning. And it's such a joyous and amazing experience to meet new people and to stay with people who are in our lives. And knowing that we can share with each other the joys and the gratitude of being together and sharing and laughing and talking and sharing a meal or sharing a creative time together. It's amazing. So I want to say thank you so much. This was my home for several years, and I am so grateful to be back today. And this morning, I would like to talk to you about gratitude in our lives, as well as the importance of practicing religious science now more than ever. In our practice, we believe that we live in an abundant life, in an abundant universe, that we are created to live an abundant life and have all of our wants and desires fulfilled. But how do we get there? We get there by maintaining a state of gratitude for all that we already have. When you look around your home, everything inside was first acquired with a thought. Perhaps you saw it in a shop and thought, ooh, that's going to look really beautiful in my home. Or maybe you received it as a gift. And as soon as you received it in your hands, you thought, wow, I know exactly where I'm going to put that. Wow, I really needed that. Or it immediately absorbs. And we know that it's meant to be with us and where we're going to put it in our home or on a piece of clothing. Or maybe you knew that you needed something from the shop. And in our thought, we already know what it is that we need. We know what it looks like. We know what we're going to use it for. We know where we're going to put it when we come home. So these things already are created by our thoughts. And when we go or when we receive these things, like when you go to the shop, you go with the intention of buying it. And at that point, we're like, what did it look like? How do we know what we needed or wanted? So we start with a thought and visualize what it is that we are desiring. And then we set out with the intention. And this is when we are sending our desire into the universe and it begins to manifest. Everything we have acquired in our lives first started with a thought. And when we are grateful for this desire, before we even receive it, is the magic ingredient for receiving more abundance in our lives. Now, how about taking it a step further? How about starting a thought with prosperity and abundance for all of humanity, for all people around the world, and then being grateful for this prosperity and abundance for all? Or giving thought to each time we acquire a thing, that you visualize others receiving it as well. Each time you sit down at the table to have a meal, think and visualize the world all having a meal, all taking a bite, all enjoying food, abundance, a roof over our head, food on our table, clothing, for all, in gratitude. Visualizing your intention with gratitude for all beings creates a more abundant world. And now is a time to practice religious science more than ever. In our practice, we recognize we are one consciousness. We know there is one mind which breathes through each of us as one. We are breathing together. And this breath allows us to think, to speak, to sing, and to act together. We are all created from its same cloth, as one. And right now in life, we are experiencing an evolutionary change. Humanity is ascending. We may be hearing this change as a transition from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. And not long ago, when this change started, it began to move us into separation. And you may have felt this as a sense of individuation. And it's important to remember that we are beings of differentiation, not separation. We are one consciousness, breathing together as one. Things are moving very quickly at this time. Our intentions and thoughts are manifesting even quicker. Are you noticing more synchronizations in your daily lives? We are in a time of healing as we are moving deeper into remembering who we are as a humanity. That we do belong in this time and space. And now more than ever, it's important to be mindful of where our consciousness is taking us in each moment. As we are waking up and remembering who we really are with a sense of being. Who are we? Why are we? That's all there really is. Everything is being revealed that needs to be revealed. And everything is being healed that needs to be healed. And this means healing as an individual as well as a global consciousness. It's important that we continue treating with each other, holding prayers for each other and for the world, in thought, in intention, and in gratitude. Continue holding the truth and not questioning why the change, knowing all is being divinely guided and divinely orchestrated in divine timing. Become the unique expression who you are. Become the one. Become the one who we really are. The joy of this evolutionary change, this evolutionary journey, is waking us up to divine cooperation and divine operation. Realizing we are singing, dancing, living, loving, and being as one in gratitude. And I'd like to share again a quote from Khalil Gibran, who we've heard before, but is so much in recognition of our practice. It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled, from the peaks of the mountains, the long winding and crossing forests and villages. And in front of her, she sees an ocean so vast that to enter, there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back in existence is impossible. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear. It's not about, because that's where the river will know that it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but becoming the ocean. We live in an abundant universe as one. Let's remember this and be grateful for it. And so it is.
So it is.